Yeah, that's right. We've only brought out one episode and we're already doing a bonus one. Hello everyone and welcome to the Let's Watch Horror podcast. You're here with me, Rob, and Ruby.
Hi.
And this is episode 1.5, a bonus episode.
Ooh.
I know, we're doing one already. This is going to be an episode, hopefully, it's in a series that I've called 0.5 Productions.
Fancy.
Yeah, I had to explain this to Ruby a couple of times because it's not confusing, but it's a new concept that we're deciding to go for. Basically, it all started from we got a independent horror creator got in touch with us and asked if we would review his mini-series he's put on YouTube. And I did not expect us to get anything like that so early. And it was really cool to get an direct email from someone asking us if we could review their stuff.
Really cool.
Yeah, and we kind of thought that, we would do that. But we didn't want it to interrupt our usual plan of
usual broadcasting schedule.
Yeah, of bringing reviews of the bigger horror, more well-known horror films, and we thought it'd be a really good chance to give these independent horror creators a chance to get their films out there, and we could give people a little idea of what they're doing. And so we thought that we would do that in between our usual schedule. So of course, hence the 0.5 thing. And I just thought it sounded cool. 0.5 Productions. It rolls off the tongue, I feel. So that's what we're going to do. This is episode 1 in that. It's a bit of a test episode for us. They're going to be a lot shorter. I've kind of realised the other episodes were going to be about an hour, but they're coming out at about an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes so far. And I don't want to make everyone go through that. So we're probably going to be bringing these out in between, maybe Monday, in between the episodes, which is scheduled for Thursday. So that's the plan. If you want to get in touch with us and let us know whether you think it's a good idea or not, that'd be really cool.
Or even if you've got some stuff you'd like us to have a look at and maybe review, that would be really cool.
Exactly, because with this, we watched it just now and it was a lot of fun. It was something we never expected would happen. Starting our podcast, and I want to carry on.
Yeah, that's one of the main things I wanted to say as well. That you mentioned that us reviewing it may be kind of cool for them. Like, this guy's contacted us, and that's obviously quite cool for them if we get to talk about it. But also, it's cool for us. Like, we get to watch some things that we probably never would have found otherwise. And it gives us something to talk about that isn't necessarily going to be the most watched thing in the world. So it works both ways. It's nice.
And that's the thing, I think for us, we're brand new, I guess you could call us content creators, trying to get our work out there. And I'm finding that a lot of fun as well. I didn't realise Twitter could be so much fun. A little bit addicted if you let it get to you a bit too much. But so that is the plan. And let us know what you think.
Okay, so why don't we just jump straight into the first of the 0.5 productions? Episode 1.5. And this is about a YouTube series called Humanoids from Outer Space. Rob, I believe you've got like a little synopsis for us?
I do. Sean Griffiths? Can you do it for me, Ruby? I can't say it.
You were right, Sean Griffiths.
He sent us through. He's the director and creator of this series on his YouTube channel called Los Anglesey. We'll spell that out for you at the end so you can get to it.
If you haven't heard of Anglesey, that's kind of your problem.
It's based in Wales, and Ruby actually lived in Wales for a little short time.
Did. Proudly.
Exactly. Right, so Sean sent me through a little preview synopsis of it, and I will just read that out for you guys, because it will be better than what I can do. Humanoids from Outer Space is an homage to the B-movies of the 1950s. The film is mostly set in fictional Wales, the Wales of such films as The Wolfman or The Old Dark House. Retro sci-fi fans will love the film's nostalgic feel, and shockaholics will revel in its rough edges, making Humanoids the metaphoric love child of Ed Wood and Tommy Wiseau.
Sounds good.
It does.
And it was good.
It was good. It's definitely an homage to the B-movies.
That summarises it perfectly, really, doesn't it? Definitely.
And it's all in black and white, by the way, which is I like that. I like that touch. I think it
It's just smart, isn't it? It's the smart way to go, and it works for the homage element, and also just for, you know, hiding the fact that it may not be the biggest budget in the world, obviously, being this lovely little independent project. Making it black and white just hides some things that may make it look more modern, or things like that. So it works really well. I
think what Sean and Los Angeles have done with their budget, though, I don't know how big it is, but it does look pretty good. Like the little, I think there's a car in it, and I don't know what car it is, and my dad's gonna kill me for that, but I don't know. But it's a really cool looking car.
It's beautiful.
I don't know if it was rented or if they own it, but it's an awesome looking car.
Yeah.
That comes up. I think it's episode 4. I think that's in
around then. Yeah.
This film is in episodes, so I guess you could call it a 5-part series. We watched it all in one go because it's quite short. I think it's less than half an hour all in one go, and each episode is maximum about 5 or 6 minutes. So I really like that because you kind of know that after a few minutes you're gonna be going to the next part, and it just goes through really nicely, and it's short and sweet.
Yeah,
I think.
Definitely.
Yeah. So episode 1, Plan 9 for Wales.
Oh. Is that reminiscent of something in particular?
I don't know. I'm sure. I sucks that I don't know. I probably
because
should
some
know.
of them definitely were. I knew, like, I think the last episode was the day Wales stood still,
yes,
and that's obviously the day the Earth stood still. So there's definitely some. If not, I'm guessing all of them are reminiscent of something.
Yeah. And this one really sets the scene. It's two couples sitting down in Wales, and things happen. We don't want to go too much into it because this is different from our usual reviews of things. We assume people have seen all that stuff, and we don't want to. We don't mind giving stuff away. But on this, I'd rather give you the information to go and watch it for yourself because it's definitely worth it. I would recommend watching this. It's
definitely.
It's not something you usually do, is go and check out someone's brand new.
That's ultimately what we want you to do, is to go and watch it. So I definitely don't want to spoil it by giving everything away.
But I will give you a little highlight from episode 1. Someone says spiders that rape your face, which got me and Ruby laughing straight away.
I mean, it's definitely something not even just one of our friends would say, several of our friends would say, and find funny. So that worked for us.
It's not just spiders that will eat your face, it's spiders that will rape your face, which I particularly liked.
I did like that. Yeah. It's very funny, this series. Like, it's a horror sci-fi homage, but it's really funny. And I mean, that works totally for the B-movie aspect. It's really got that B-movie humour the whole way through. Genuinely laughed out loud several times. I really did.
I thought it was really funny.
One of my favourite bits from episode 1 was when there's 2 agents, like, I don't know if they're FBI or they're sort of police agents of some description from America.
I think they might, because I wrote down fat cats from America because one of them said, it don't matter whether it makes money or can be used as weaponry, but I want it. So I don't know if it's a business idea or a government thing.
I think that's sort of like all in one.
Yeah.
It works for that.
You could either one, I think, works. It's definitely, like the fat cat from America smoking his cigar. But in that typical, it's kind of like aliens are, there's something we don't know about. Go get it, because we might be able to use it to kill people or to make money.
Yeah, or both. That would be the best.
Yeah, and this film takes the piss out of those people, which it's always fun to see.
Yeah, it was really funny. And there's 2 of them. One of them I didn't quite catch his name, but the other one's called Lugosi, which I loved. A little shout out for Bella, I'm assuming. But the other one says at one point to him, he's telling his friend to go and check out this disaster that's just occurred. And he says, if anyone complains, just say they were communists. I like that. That tickled me.
The next episode is called 20 Million Miles to Wales. And it shows us Lugosi flying a plane to go to Wales. And I do love the way that they kind of make out, as in, no one knows what Wales is. Like, where is this Wales?
Particularly the Americans.
Yeah, exactly. Which I can... Yeah, Wales is a tiny little country that is off of England. It explains it in the film. It's part of the Great Britain. It's a lovely place, by the way. Awesome. And he says a little something from this. He said, there's a meteor that's leaking aliens, and I've got to plug that leak.
It's very quotable, actually.
It is quite potent.
I think that was probably my favourite part, if I'm honest, was the script writing. I thought the writing was really clever and just really fun. There was nothing to, you didn't try and go into too much detail at any point, and any of the characters weren't, it was all just very quick and witty and kept it rolling.
I think you could from it you can understand what all the characters are meant to be. They didn't really need much backstory or anything like that. It just, you knew what each character was there for and their purpose in the film. You get to meet a scientist. It's pretty self-explanatory what he's there for. But everything it is to basically, to this episode, is to get us back to Wales, where everything happens, where it all goes down. We get to meet the, I assume, the Welsh police in their office, and that's quite funny.
Yeah, no, that is definitely one of my other favourite bits of the whole thing is in that scene when one of the officers says about how the Romans couldn't take Wales, so these little green bastards or something can't either. I really enjoyed that. That really taps into that lovely Welsh patriotism.
No, I actually think he was my favourite character.
Yeah.
The chief.
He's kind of the lead, isn't he? I think he's the lead in this, and rightly so.
Yeah, I think so. And I think he acted very well as well. And they have these funny hats. I think they're snakeskin. I couldn't quite tell, but it looked like it was a snakeskin hat he was wearing. Like
really?
I think it was.
That.
I think it was. Right, so let's move on to episode 3. It's called Attack of the Humanoids. This is where the horror elements really start to come in.
Horror and some bit of action as well.
Yeah.
Nice. Always a good combo.
I don't want to tell you what happens or how it happens, because you'll find out, but basically, Attack of the Humanoids, people are going to turn into these. Yeah, but I think you wrote down a couple of things about it that you were...
Yeah, well, there's a bit where they start, where they get into a little bit of a gunfight. And it was brilliant, and I just wrote down almost more shots than a Tarantino movie, because it did make me think of is it Inglourious Bastards, where they're shooting at the corpse of Hitler, and it's like a good few minutes of them just shooting this dead body.
They turn him into Play-Doh.
Yes, yeah, and it just made me think of that, which is never a bad thing. All the while screaming, I think something along the lines of "Die, you son of a bitch." So it's just really funny and lighthearted, as well as having some really cool old school horror stuff going on, which it's a dream for me. It really is.
I think at this point as well, the music in this is done quite well. I think it's it really fits. All the sound effects work really well in this. There's no
very authentic. Yeah.
And I like the guns because they're quite small guns, but they make a loud bang and a loud flash, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, almost like ray guns.
Yeah, exactly. Episode 4 is called The Chief That Fell to Earth. I think this episode is quite good. It explains, I think it's quite good. It explains a little bit about humans in what happens, because a scientist arrives and talks to the chief and explains
the one from episode 1, right?
Yeah, and it is in this episode that he explains that humanoids and humans have always been in a kind of war, a battle, and I'll just give you one of the quotes. It said World War One and World War Two were because a meteor that fell on Earth. So that look forward to that and an explanation of that.
Which, I mean, that's another like really long-standing cliche, isn't it, of B movies, where they sort of intertwine genuine history, human history, with their storyline completely willy-nilly into however they feel like it. But that's why they do it. It works.
It's so fun just taking anything in history and going, I'm going to make something funny about that, and then turn it into a horror film. It's clever.
I mean, he even says at one point Hitler was a humanoid replica. It's really good. And I think, I'm not going to go too much into it, because that, like I said, the dialogue is definitely the best part, and I don't want to ruin too much of it for you. So all the more reason to go and watch it.
Exactly. Now, number 5, The Day Wales Stood Still, which is the final. I don't really want to say much about this one, because I feel like you watch 4 episodes to get to this. I don't want to ruin it. It's fun, though, and it does change a little bit. There's a little kind of twist which you don't expect to happen.
Yeah.
I'll give you another quote. It just... Friend. And
it really made me think of actually Carry On Screaming and that kind of thing, like horror spoofs, which obviously came a lot later than the sort of 50s horror thing. It's just enjoying it, isn't it? Enjoying it for what it is. It's not taking the piss as much as it is a love letter to it, you know, and just being like, this was great for this reason. Yeah,
you can tell that Los Anglesey and the YouTube channel and the creator love what they're doing. It's a real passion project, and they've worked really hard at it, and that's something that I felt that I really got from watching this, and hopefully what we're going to do with the 0.5 production thing. After I learn how to say it, I just talked about how it rolls off the tongue, and now I can't bloody get it off mine. But I think it'll be really good to give everyone an appreciation of the horror content or any content creators that are just starting out. They've got a small budget, and just to appreciate that you got to give everyone a chance and look at things a different way. And that this Humanoids from Outer Space really taught us is that there's a couple of plot points that are missing. At some points the acting is a bit
crazy.
But I think it's really good, and I loved watching it from that point of view, because you go to see films like The Nun, which wasn't great, and we're not going to forgive that for the awful points in that, because millions of pounds are spent on it. It's got a whole team behind it, but this is great.
Yeah, and also those things that, like you say, some slight plot holes there, like, it's all for the right reasons. It's not lack of, attention given to the project. That stuff happened all the time in B movies.
Yeah.
That's what made them B movies, was that, okay, it doesn't make the most amount of sense, and it works for that reason.
It also feels a bit like, why bother spending so much time creating, like, to fit the plot hole? I mean, if you did that, we'd have to have another couple of episodes in it. You don't need it.
No,
and that's what you realise. You don't need to have all this. It's the main thing about this is it's fun. A lot of passion's gone into it, and it's just enjoyable.
Yeah. And there was some really, I definitely want to say, there was a few shots that really, like in the synopsis there, you said the Wolfman. I kept thinking about the Wolfman. Some lovely shots of the forest, black and white shots of something moving. The camera staying still, but something moving across the screen. Definitely reminiscent of the Wolfman, and also Frankenstein, the old Hammer horror. And if you're into that kind of thing, you're just gonna love it. You really are.
Yeah, I loved what the humanoids were dressed in. I think they were dressed in ghillies, those ghillie suits what snipers wear in the army.
Right.
And I think they've been put to good use. I mean, I only know that from playing Call of Duty 4. But I think the use of that is really, and the black and white, it makes it look, they look really dirty and messy and a bit grim. And also I thought the gore was quite good. There's a couple of bits where people get injured and you see like wounds on them. And I the fact that it's a B movie is great, because there's no blood comes out of these wounds, but they appear and they do look pretty grim. It's they
there's
look
like scratchy noises that come alongside.
and they
really
do look quite
make you kind of go, oh,
deep wounds. Yeah, and I thought a couple of times I was like, oh, there's a bit where this guy has it on his arm. And it's a bit rough.
Yeah, I mean, copious amounts of blood is a rare, not a modern thing, but it didn't happen so much with those sort of classic sort of.
It didn't need it.
Era.
Yeah,
Exactly. It didn't need it.
I think another thing I loved about it is the way that the people move in this when they become humanoids reminds me of people dancing in a way. If you were like dance like a zombie, that's how people would move. That really rigid, arms out.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Before special effects could make. You look.
So make yourself look like a monster. Okay, then I'll just make everything feel heavy.
Yeah.
But no, I will recommend this film. Well done to Sean. I think you've brought out a lovely little series.
And thank you for contacting us. Really appreciate it. Yeah. Really enjoyed it.
It's given us something else to be excited about, and like we said, we never expected that we would be doing this, and to be given the opportunity already to review some work that I would never have seen this otherwise, and hopefully because of this, other people will see it too.
Yeah,
and
I think especially as well in the horror community, I don't know if you find this, like horror fans are fanatical. Like it's not something that people often do. Part-time, if you love horror, you love it and you will take everything you can get your hands on, but at the same time, quite often, I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but it's easy to get stuck in a bit of a rut and just go and see some of the stuff that comes out in the cinema and just whatever comes up on your Netflix feed, and to not look into it too much. Like, maybe that's just me being lazy. So this is a really good excuse, as much as anything, to just put some effort in, go out and find this stuff, because it is well worth it. It
really is. And it makes you feel this sense of, pride for your horror community out there. That's something I like about it. And I think it's the same thing with Twitter. I've realised that on Twitter there are so many horror fans out there, and they know so much stuff.
Yeah.
Like the amount of times that I'm scrolling through and see pictures of horror films, think I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
And
but I want to.
And I know that if I ask, people will tell me, and they're not gonna have a go at you for not knowing. It's really cool. And I also want to say thanks to 12nightsofhorror.com. They kindly put us on their podcast page, and that was really cool. Got us a few extra followers there, so that's always nice. But yeah, I think that about sums it up. We're not going to do ratings. I don't think we need to.
No,
Really?
I mean, all I can say is go watch it.
Yeah.
It's less than half an hour of your day,
Yeah.
and it is more than worth that time.
In fact, send us your ratings of it. Yeah, I'm sure we can send them on to Sean. I'm sure Sean will find them and see how much love he gets for his awesome horror series. We better tell you how you can find that series. It's all on YouTube and it's 5 episodes. The channel is called Los Anglesey. I'll let you spell that out for them, Ruby.
Yes, that's LOS and then Anglesey.
And the series is called...
It's Humanoids from Outer Space.
And we highly recommend you go out and watch that.
We do.
And also, if you want to contact us about it, or if you have any of your own horror
creations
that you'd like to share with us, we're on Twitter at WatchHorrorPod, and our email is letswatchhorror@gmail.com, all one word, all lowercase. So this has been episode 1.5 of the Let's Watch Horror podcast. Hopefully many more in the series that I have just coined, 0.5 Productions. Thanks very much for listening, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Bye.